Jillian here from Live Fiercely Bold, and I'm just really here to do some dish. It's Saturday, and I've been thinking about a lot of things, and I am like truly pondering on this Saturday about this whole um, Brian Laundrie debacle. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, if everybody else is kind of wondering about, like, what is really going on. Um, I am just really interested um, in what someone might think about, this idea of, are we really is this like really happening, or is something else happening? Like, does anyone find it intriguing that it is like uh hmm, coincidence that all of this is happening around the time that COVID is getting like super um, super hot, and there's so much discussion around vaccines versus not vaccines, and I'm just wondering if anyone else is just truly have you done some reflection on this message, that this messaging that we're fed through the media. I mean, I think it happens over and over and over again, and I'm just wondering if anyone else is as confused or baffled or actually quite clear about what this could really mean. How could, I mean, what has happened is truly tragic. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I am here to say that, it is truly tragic. And that I speak so much on my um, Live Bold Nation podcast that I talk a lot about domestic violence, and narcissism and gaslighting. I mean, those are just like really hot topics on my podcast on Sunday at 3 Eastern Standard Time. So I'm just kind of I'm very compassionate to the whole idea around, obviously, passing the word around domestic violence, and certainly being a voice for that. Whatever happened, it appears that there was domestic violence involved. But the larger looming question is, why did this story at this time mean so much? Like, why has it captured the media by storm? Has captured, front and center of every newsreel, of every article, of it's everywhere, and everyone is discussing it. And yet, domestic violence happens every day, all day. So I'm just pondering it this Saturday of like, this does not make sense to me. And when something doesn't make sense to me, me, boldies, that, by living fiercely bold, that means that like I really think and act boldly. And I want to dish the things that are not making sense to me. Um, And I'm sure it's not making sense to other people. And again, I want to just reinforce that this is not about um, uh, the tragic event that took place and the loss of a life, and that and to that um, I my heart goes out to the parents and the grief and what they're going through. Um, I lost my brother way too young, and I know what that loss is like. I thought that I could not go on. I thought that I just, the grief would overwhelm me at times and it would come out of nowhere. So, it is not that I am saying that, this is not a topic that we take lightly, right? I mean, we just don't. We have compassion. My heart's like, my heart's overflowing for these families. And yet I just don't understand how this could continue to go on. I had a little wake up call the other day. I was getting my tattoo here, the ink on my tattoo on this part, getting it filled in. And I was talking to my tattoo artist about something like really, just some real, a real tough topic that I had been going through, and some true feelings about some relationships, and how these relationships were just really destructive and really hurting me. And I got a new iPhone the other day, and it's interesting because I only had all my contacts are in there, but I just kind of just been texting the, my tight circle. And after I had been discussing this with her, maybe 5 minutes later, I got a text on my phone that said, hope to stop the discouragement, hope to stop the dysfunction, and then it had some I don't know, link or something. I didn't click on the link, but here I have a brand new phone. I have very little conversations, very few texts going on at this point, and all of a sudden this pops up. And my tattoo artist and I just sat there and we were just we were both in shock. What is listening to my phone? What is listening to my every conversation? I mean, why would this pop up 5 minutes later after I had just been kind of, bearing my soul to her and discussing a tough topic in relationships that were really challenging me. And so I say that because I think this is what started my pondering. Because I just feel like if that is something that people could, if they are truly, monitoring our phones, which I 100% believe they are, how can they not find this guy? Why is this going on and on and on? I mean, we found bin Laden. I mean, I'm at a time when, people are truly talking about, COVID is rampant in our country. COVID is attacking people that have been vaccinated. I have personal friends that have been vaccinated and have COVID right now. And I think that, this is a true topic that needs to be discussed. And I think this maneuver, this master plan that I feel took place to confuse us and baffle us and get us thinking about something else, taking our minds elsewhere, taking our conversations elsewhere, taking our attention elsewhere is really the master plan here. And I feel like I've had several podcasts on the division of vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. My best friend is not vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. And, we had a podcast on that and on those feelings of being, of how that feels and how she has felt. And I know she won't mind me saying this because we were live on a podcast. So, and spoke about this. You can find it on YouTube or anywhere. YouTube, Facebook, it's been live everywhere. But, we just really had these discussions about how it felt to be, how ostracized to not be vaccinated felt. Like families were being inundated with this division. Like, for examples, like you're not invited to, this Sunday dinner anymore because you are not vaccinated. You are not invited to this or that because you are not vaccinated, when in fact, the person that is at most risk is the person that is not vaccinated. But, is that really true? Because, now we're seeing that, those that were vaccinated are getting COVID. So, for me, being vaccinated, I'm just reverting back to how I was. I'm reverting back to, just really practicing social distancing, wearing my mask everywhere I go. And, there's just no choice in that for me at this point. So I pose this question because I just feel like it's kind of stopped these discussions of the divide that has been happening in our country, and it's focusing it on this tragedy that happened. And I just want to encourage people to definitely try to continue to think for yourself, continue to ponder the messages, continue to create the discussions. I would just love to hear, truly in comments, in the replay of this, like what your thoughts are around this idea of this master plan. And I just, in that, I want us to give love and pour ourselves into these families that have lost someone that they love. I also want us to think about that impact and what this shift in thinking can potentially do to our company. To our country. And I just want us to continue the conversations that, were started long ago. I want us to continue to heal the divide that's happening in our nation of, vaccinated versus unvaccinated. I want us to continue to be respectful of what is just really happening out there. And someone said, cool background. Thank you. And I just, my heart pours out to this country. My heart pours out into, where we are right now as a country and where we are in relationships to others. And I just feel that if we can be super present in, what's being presented to us, that we, that 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 we continue to focus on the healing of our country. And that means in every way, right? Healing from COVID, healing our relationships that have been stressed by COVID, the divide that has happened because of COVID. And I just think that, like, we all need to just take a moment and pray, and take a moment and have silence for this tragedy that took place. The loss of a precious young lady that hadn't fulfilled her purpose yet. And that, Live Fiercely Bold is all about living fiercely bold in the world. And, it almost gives me pause to, like, almost like a tear. I can feel it forming behind the back of my eyes because, I formed Live Fiercely Bold because, and Bold Business, Build Bold Business, which is the other side of my offering, and my giving and my gift, is that truly people stay committed to their purpose. Life can be, and this tragedy is a prime example of how short life can be. And when do you start living your authentic self? When do you start truly expressing your narrative in a way that is giving to others? Because as we can see from this tragedy, life can be like snuffed out in a moment. So there isn't a moment to lose, folks. Boldies. There is not a minute to lose when you are attracting your purpose, giving your gift, and living fiercely bold in the world, living who you want to be, living your dreams, living your aspirations. I started too late. But you know what? There was a moment in time when I woke up and I said, you know what? My life could end tomorrow. I'm in the later years of my life. What is my legacy? What am I leaving? What is my footprint on this planet? What will people say about who I was and how I gave in the world? And, I'm like, whew, I am on fire right now. Seriously, on fire. Because we simply sit and wait. We simply live our lives out of like other people's belief systems. What? I would look at other people that had, tattoos in my, throughout my life, and I'd be like, God, I want one so bad, but what will people think of me? How will I fit in corporate America? How will I? What will, what do people that don't think I should have tattoos say to me? Guilt me, shame me. So here I am at 57. I started this sleeve 2 years ago, and this one I'm just now starting, and it is my voice. I have bold on my arm. I have fierce, and I've got goosebumps right now, like that are so huge. I've got bold on my arm, and I've got warrior on my arm. And now I'm showing you the other side of she Buddha, because it's fluid. It is she and he, and we all have she and he within us. And so much of the she gets beat out throughout our lives. And I am just here as a spokesperson for Live Fiercely Bold. And I'm speaking to everyone, but I especially speak to women that listen to people that have influence over them to not do the things that they want to do, that live under this conditioning. Husbands, wake up. Partners, wake up. Stop gaslighting. Stop stopping the dreams of the one person that you supposedly love more than anything, because you might have some judgment or some opinion about this dream. Maybe it might affect you some way, or maybe you just feel like they might succeed so much that you will look smaller than them. What about that? Try that on. Give that some true thought. What is your intention? What is your intention in wanting to hold somebody back from living their fiercely bold self and their purpose and their narrative? Do you think that, I am one of four, I'm the oldest, I did everything I possibly could, right in the world, just everyone be proud of me, make peace, come on, let's everybody, let's just do that, okay, let's just do that. And instead of really giving my narrative, I just sat back in the back seat and let everybody else give their narrative, whether it was true, false, hurtful, shaming. And I just sat there and took it. Don't ruffle the feathers. Don't make someone feel uncomfortable. Don't stand up for yourself. And I just feel that this is the message. This message is twofold. This message is, are you thinking? Are you thinking boldly? Are you thinking for yourself? Or are you letting the media feed you information, sidetrack you, keep you from being focused on the healing that needs to happen in this planet? And then, as we know from this tragedy, life is too short. Life is freaking too short. And are you doing everything you can right now, this moment, to know your gift on this planet and know what you have to say? Because it's not serving anyone if you are not sharing your gift. We all, each and every one of us on this planet has a gift. Each of our narratives are different. Each of our lives and experiences have just a unique voice that will touch someone. So when you feel like, oh, I can't do a podcast, oh, I can't go live, yes, you can, and yes, you should. Just do it. It's like, for me, it's like I do it because it's how I share my voice, how I hope that I reach someone, how I hope that I can help and pour into them to find that confidence and that incredible being that they are, because it's in there. It's just like really, really, really freaking buried. And I say that I wanted to say, a swear word, because sometimes that's just the impactful word that, really wakes up the soul. We don't think that, we don't correlate necessarily swearing with, I don't know, spirituality, religion, whatever. But you know what? We had a God that was rageful. If we want to bring, Noah's Ark into this picture, then, to prove the point, God destroyed all of humanity in a blink of an eye with a flood. That's pretty rageful, folks. So if we think it's all like, we have to be just like this perfect little religious self in God's eyes. No, absolutely not. We have to speak our truth. We have to speak about prosperity. And I'm just saying this because I'm trying to tie it all together. I'm trying to tie what this means to me. What all of a sudden pondering this thing that happened on my phone where I was being obviously listened to, and then pondering this idea of seeing this media like burst of this Brian Laundrie debacle is what I want to call it. I don't even know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. How, for someone to just, go missing for this long, I truly feel it's a let's keep this thing moving and let's keep the focus elsewhere for as long as we possibly can. And I just hope that this day, this day that I was told to come on and really talk about this is a day that I hope will wake up one person. And that's all I care about. One person shifts the way that they think. One person focuses back to, healing the country, focuses back to really helping the divide that's happened in this country, this vaccinated versus non-vaccinated. And I see that my bestie is on here listening to me, so she knows that she knows how I and we feel about that, and how horrific this divide has come and has become. And I just encourage everybody to maybe just turn off the media and go inside and really think about what it is to truly have compassion for these families that lost a dear one too young, for whatever reason that was. I mean, that is yet to be determined, right? But the fact is that we did lose a person on this country, and a very young lady that probably had a lot to share. And so I just wanted to be super clear that I am not saying that tragedy is not important. It's how that tragedy has been put on display in a way that has distracted us for other things that are just as important in healing in this country. And I also just say and want everyone to remember that, take some time, and if you can just disconnect from the media, and also think about who you are on this planet. Think about and deal with your, rage about what's happening, your anger that's happening. I talk about I had a podcast called the Kindness Bench, and it was truly to help parents, to guide them to really helping this next generation coming up to have more empathy and kindness, because I think that COVID and its restrictions and its social distancing has the potential to really affect that for the generations coming on board. And we already, it feels like we have already lost a lot of our kindness. We I think we've lost our kindness, but I think that we are afraid, and it's deflecting into anger. We don't know how else to like really deal with like the fear of just what's happening in our world right now. And so I think it gets cross contaminated as anger. And it's that defense mechanism, right? Like it's that defensiveness, anger, like not allowing us to open up to everyone on this planet for whatever their decisions have been. And, I think that in turning off the media for a while, if you could just like reflect on who you are right now. Where are you in your true feelings? Are you angry? Are you afraid? Are you sad? What are you feeling right now? And then how are you projecting that out into the world? And just do like a self check, because I think that all of these steps will help us to really, if we all take that moment, if we could collectively all take that moment of silence to just stop and reflect, I think we could probably shift everything. If we can put healing intent, we can't stop COVID, but we can stop how we react to COVID. We can shift how we react to COVID and vaccines and non-vaccinated and the illness and the quarantine and all of that happens with this disease that we are looking at every day, all day, in every way. It affects all of us. So I think that's it. I know I went on a bit of a rant today, but it was just a rant I had to get out of my system. It was a rant that was building and building and bubbling and bubbling, and I just I could not do it. So I just encourage you to, again, live as fiercely bold in the world as you can. And if you're struggling, reach out, find support, find a coach, find a therapist, find what speaks to you, find a minister. If you're struggling, find a support group. Find ways that you can really deal with this in a healthy way. And I certainly am here for you. If you go to livefiercelybold.com, you'll see that, I have a trilogy of masterclasses that, are designed to do that very thing, that are designed to help you be the freaking best, the best version of yourself. And, that is my plight. But my plight is bigger than that. My plight is for all humanity. My plight is for us to all use our voices in ways that heal. And sometimes that's all not nicey, right? No. Sometimes that's like passionate and full of freaking power and passion and motivation in ways that sometimes we just need that kick in the butt to say, I can do better than this. So that's it. That's what I have to say today. I encourage you all to do that very thing. So I'm asking, my call to action for you, world, Boldies, is to take a moment of silence and do that very thing that I ask. Take some silence away from the media and look at what you truly believe. Take a minute to focus back on healing. Take a minute to make sure that you are being your fierce, bold self in this world right now, here in the present. Don't wait. As this tragedy has shown us, each and every one of our lives could be over tomorrow. And what is your legacy? What's your footprint on this earth? And so with that, I say, live fiercely bold in the world.